All right, guys, let me recap just a little bit. Some of you guys heard what we talked about after the game, some of the same comments, but after watching the film, just want to reiterate how proud I am of our team, how they came out and played and executed. Thought we played a very clean game from pretty much from start to finish. Kids played hard, executed well, and we continue to improve in all areas, and that's great to see. You go back and you look defensively, I thought we had a great plan. And then when you watch the film on a couple of long plays or a couple of plays they did break, it was due more to, missed tackle, maybe a missed assignment. The boy, I felt like our defensive game plan that our defensive coaches put in was really effective in holding their quarterback, Tyler Jones, to 13 out of 33. I think that's a pretty strong performance, and you got to give our young secondary some credit. I thought they did a nice job. We did get some pressure on the quarterback, and just put a really good game together. Had our hands on a lot of balls too. We had a chance to really get quite a few more turnovers in that game, and that was a huge plus to see. Offensively, finally got some outstanding, I should say, offensive production. I thought it all started with Jalen Nixon. I thought he played extremely well. Anytime you complete 22 of 29 for 230 some odd yards and then 3 touchdowns and rush for another one, I don't know if it gets much better than that day. His quarterback rating had to be extremely high. Moved the chains, made a lot of the right checks, and did a great job managing the game. And you look back, if we'd had that type of production, maybe we wouldn't be where we are record-wise right now. Maybe I think we would have been way more competitive in the 2 games that we lost after the Northwestern game. So it makes a big difference when your offense is moving the ball, scoring points, keeping the defense off the field. I think we were very good. I think 9 out of maybe 15 on 3rd down. That's pretty strong, and so I thought we did a nice job there. Some of our playmakers also showed up and really played at the level that they themselves expect to play at. Also, Jamal Robinson's big catch in the end zone. I thought Al Rouse got involved in the game plan, which was great to see. I thought we played physical, we played tough, and just in all areas offensively improved. One area that I thought we did play well, but we don't think it was as good as it can be, is at the offensive line position. We had a lot of guys move positions, had 3 players playing new positions. We're probably going to rearrange that again. I think we're going to move Eddie Gordon back to center, and then look at some other options. I think he was playing so well at center earlier in the year, and we just didn't feel like that the guard spot fit him, as well as Grant maybe at the center also. So we're going to move Eddie back to the center position, and then figure out the left guard position. It could be Jesse Freeman, and it could be Grant Horst, but we're going to work with some combinations because we have some time to do it with the extended preparation time. But we're going to move Eddie back to center. I think it's going to fit us much better. Even though I thought our kids played well, considering they only had basically 3 practices to put that together, I think we can be much better. But when you consider what they did offensively, and that was a pretty good effort on their part too. But hey, you know what? We'll improve there. Special teams, I thought we've been wanting to get our return game going, and we saw we'd had some returns in some other games and just didn't seem to get them. But I tell you, when you put Jarrell Brazil back there and Gary Haynes, they really changed our return game overnight, because we're running the same returns we've been running all year, and so it makes that just goes to show you what somebody that has a knack for it can do. And so Brazil, though they really executed it well, I got to give them, the return guys, a lot of credit. Even Jarrell complimented his guys on a tweet, saying he knew his guys did a great job up front when he returned the kickoff for a touchdown. And that was a great answer for our football team, to see our team answer the way it did. And even after the first score of the game, saw the way we answered. So starting to see some Ragin' Cajun ball. Get back to Gary Haynes, I thought he showed some dynamic playmaking ability with a couple of different returns. And he's getting better at taking care of the ball. That's always a concern with a true freshman who's playing in Game 5 or Game 6, but he'll only improve if we can get the ball in his hands. He can't get any better unless he gets any reps. And so he's going to get some reps. I'm going to give both those guys the return. It's going to be their jobs now, and so they can go out and practice and prepare like starters. I'm anxious to see how that goes. Kids don't practice today. We come back tomorrow and practice tomorrow. Tomorrow's a bonus practice for us, and then that will get the week started. And then Wednesday starts the entire game week process. Y'all always try to figure it out like myself, where Wednesday will be the Sunday, and Thursday will be the Monday, and Friday will be the Tuesday. Somebody in this room that's one that confused me last week on this whole deal. So we're back on track now.
So we had a Scrabble game scheduled.
That's right. So, but you know, this is going to be a fun game for the fact that our players love playing Arkansas State. I know they feel the same way. It's turned into a great game between two universities. It's been 4 really competitive games in the last 4 years, and it'll be a great environment when we go up there to Jonesboro, and it always is an exciting game and very intense game, as it was here last year. So I know our players will have no problem coming to practice this week. They'll be excited tomorrow night to be able to sit down after practice and watch Arkansas State and South Alabama on TV tomorrow night, and get a chance to see those guys on the tube tomorrow night. And so, big week for us as we continue to try to improve fundamentally. Still trying to put some guys in positions with the offensive line and the secondary. Hoping to have T.J. Worthy back for this game. We don't see any reason why he can't be back full speed this game. Doesn't look like Troy McCullum will make it, but T.J. Worthy should make it back, and so we'll evaluate Troy at some point later next week. So, but I think we're getting back some guys health-wise, which can only help us. But in the interim, a lot of guys have played that have created some depth for us in the last few weeks. So. That's going to pay big dividends as we move forward throughout the season. All right, any questions?
Coach, on the defensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball, it seemed like that option pass that Jones ran, where was something that gave you a little bit of trouble at first, but then you guys made some adjustments. And of course, it's hard to defend anyway. But is that something that they showed prior to this game?
No, that's the first game they've even showed. They came out in 20 personnel, which is 2 backs. They've not ran one play of that the entire year. And they came out and ran 2 backs, a lot of the game. And so we had to make some adjustments against that early. And they hit us on the little run play action pass when they slipped the running back, the other running back through the line of scrimmage. Give them credit there, but our staff did a great job of making some adjustments and kept that from happening again. But they came out 2 backs and not done 1 snap that entire year before that.
Al Riles did really well with the little jet sweep game, the things you did. Was just something you saw with the matchup, or something you really like to move forward with?
No, we run the jet sweep a little bit with him and Gary, and but I tell you, when Al sort of gets in rhythm, and he's playing at a pretty high level right now. He can bring that physical punch. We just wanted to get Al into the game plan. He's a very good player, and we needed to get him more touches and jet sweeps, screens. We was able to really get his hands on the ball a little bit more, and so I thought he did a nice job. Another thing I thought we did a great job was our 2-minute offense right before the half. I thought we really moved the ball effectively, managing the clock. I thought Jalen did a great job of that also. Is
Horse an option back out at tackle, or does Withrow stay there?
That's what we're going to try to figure out in the next couple of days. We still want to put a best 5 on the field. Don't know between Grant and Withrow if it's going to be guard tackle or tackle guard between the two, or if it's going to be Jesse Freeman coming in at the guard position and maybe letting those guys both work at tackle. So we're going to try to. We know Eddie. I feel like after talking to Mitch that we're going to put Eddie back at center.
Considering you want to kind of shake up the offensive line, and now Jalen presumably gets all the reps at 1, how beneficial do these extra days really help you in preparing for Arkansas State?
Well, anytime you get a little extra preparation, it always helps, and just in the game plan part of it, it gives a little head start, get ahead of the game, a little get ahead of the curve, and hopefully it'll help him get his confidence level even a little bit higher and within the game plan. And so Brooks still gets some quality reps, but right now moving forward into this game, Jalen's going to be be the starter, and I definitely earned that the other night. Sun Belt Conference Player of the Week, and as effective as he was, I thought he played really well.
Coach, you talked about Al Riles' physicality. Typically, you might say defense would set a tone as far as making a big hit, making guys, jump up and down on the side. It seemed like Al breaking tackles, Jamal making a few plays. Was this kind of one of those deals where the offense almost kind of set a tone as far as getting everybody fired up by making those kind of plays?
Yeah, I think that helped a lot. The offensive guys can set the tone too, by playing physical, and that's what we've done a little bit in the past. I thought even Elijah McGuire had some big hits and ran physical. All our offensive guys, I thought, brought a little bit. Gary Haynes had the big hit on the sideline when he returned the punt. So that was great to see. That's the type of football we've been used to playing offensively, playing very tough, playing very physical, getting the ball to a lot of different playmakers. The first 4 games, Elijah McGuire was the only one that was really making plays for us, and we wasn't spreading the ball out enough and wouldn't get enough production. And the other night, when you saw so many different people making a contribution, to me, that's when your offense can really, really click.
How did
Did you see Jamal?
Going to having to play an odd week game again? Is that sort of, is it frustrating to have to do that, or is that?
Not really. We've sort of gotten used to the odd weeks. We're in the last 2 years we're 4-0 on the odd night games, and so we've done well in our preparation. We think we've got a really good system down now, and we're not going to waver from that. We think what we do works and how we prepare, and in the playing on Tuesday night national TV is always great for us, and it'll be a lot of people always like to watch this game. Us in Arkansas State, because it always seems to be a pretty good game, and they'll be excited to play. So it'll hopefully be a great week of practice, and we play well.
Coach, did you see maybe Jamal? Obviously, Jamal, as the game went on, confidence grew making those plays, because at times he was up against Mims, who was their best defensive back out there, and made some plays against that guy.
Yeah, he's preseason Sun Belt Conference, defensive player in the conference. Talking about Mims, and Jamal just went out and just played extremely well at a high level. Not only the catch in the end zone, he got a couple of nice hitches. He turned into big gains, lowered his shoulder, blocked, physical. That was the Jamal Robinson I think everybody remembered seeing. And we hadn't seen that probably in about a year, because he missed most of last year, just now coming into form. Hope we can see more of that moving forward.
Are you all expecting Friday night to play? He's missed the last 3 games.
Yeah, I'm expecting to, and every report that we hear that he's playing, and I have not heard about tonight, if he's expected to play tonight or not, or tomorrow night, I should say.
What do you think about Savion Brown's play?
Savion's really improving each week, and especially his cover skills. He's our best tackler on the defense side of the ball in the secondary. He's a big defensive back that can tackle, can run, and he's really improved. Coach Smith took him from scratch and has taught him, the fundamentals of how we're playing the game. And I'm really proud of the way he's progressed.
What do you tell them in terms of trying to avoid distractions in light of the NCAA stuff?
With our kids, they're resilient, and to be honest with you, our kids, they've had, a lot of other distractions too in the last couple of weeks. And so, man, these kids, they got more going on right now with school and girlfriends and football and everything. You've got to be almost ADD these days to make it in life with all the things going on. So our kids, they're good boys. They work hard, and I don't see it being any issue.
Go ahead. Coach, what did you see differently? Obviously, they're not going to change their packages with Freddie in there of Arkansas State we're talking about, but they had to change up when he went out with injury with the young quarterback out of New Orleans who they recruited. So I'm assuming you guys, especially after maybe watching tomorrow night, you're going to be looking for them to be similar to maybe let Freddie just stretch the defenses the way he does.
Well, you want to go back and look at what they do when Freddie's in the game. You know what I'm saying? So they're when Freddie Knight's in the game, they're dynamic now, and they've been successful moving the ball also without him. But when he is in there, he is. You can see why he's preseason one of the best players in this conference. He is an exceptional player, great competitor. Got a lot of respect for that kid.
After looking at film, what did you feel that the offensive staff did to get Jalen in position to succeed, or what was different for him Saturday?
You know, one, I think he just, you know, as the season is going on, he's gotten reps, he's gotten better, he's improved. And the way we practice, I mean, we practice with a purpose. I mean, he's out there to practice. Coach Johnson is, you know, very detailed in his mechanics. And, boy, I thought he threw the ball very effectively, threw some darts. And I just think he is progressing on a good natural curve right now that would have been probably an awful lot for him to ask him to do early in the year. But when you go back and look, he played pretty close to that level against Kentucky in the second half. You know, he's played 6 really good quarters of football when you think about the last 2 at Kentucky and the 4 the other night. That's strong. And so if we can continue that type of production, he's going to have an outstanding year. And if he keeps playing like that offensively, we're going to be a much better team. Then in return, it's going to help our defense also.
How pleased were you with Elijah's response to such a heavy workload in the week?
You know, I think I mentioned last week he finished up with 18 touches, and I said, boy, I'd sure love to get him up to 25, and I think he had 28 carries. I'm not sure how many catches, but and he had 170 yards. And that was great to see, and I thought he toted it well, talking about the burden of the load, carrying that many times throughout the game. And so he's way more durable. He's a different style back than he was 2 years ago. He can punch it inside. He can get it on the perimeter. He can make people miss. He can catch it out of the backfield. I thought he did a really phenomenal
Coach,
job.
Arkansas State, did I sense that for your players, a lot more eyebrows go up when you're playing them than just about anybody y'all play in the conference?
Just about, yeah. They love playing Arkansas State, and just because you know they know Arkansas State has got an outstanding program, and just the way our games have evolved in the last 4 years. I mean, the very first year they were here, we played them in Jonesboro for the Sun Belt Championship, and so every game in the last 4 years has had something riding on it, and it's always been a big game. It's always been a tough game. It's always been a very physical game. And I expect nothing less this time. So there'll be a great crowd up there. They've got passionate fans as we do, and so both fan bases like competing against each other also.
For the offensive line and for Elijah especially, watching those guys, last year Eli went off. I mean, a lot of fun to watch. There's, Arkansas State's obviously that's in the back of their mind all off season. How Eli, I guess his, they're coming for him, or as far as handling that and the front as well.
Yeah, anytime, they're going to be ready. I'm sure they're looking for the challenge to going against Eli again, and we've got a great challenge going against Friday night and a bunch of their great players. Both teams have got really good players. I think both programs have a lot of respect for one another, and like I said, we've had some great battles. And people, you like playing in these type of games on national TV. Man, they don't get any better. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.